And welcome to a new episode of The Simpsons Did It. I'm your host, Steven Skolansky.
And I'm your co-host, Robert Skolansky. And guess what?
We're going to start a Barbershop Quartet.
Yes, I like it. We need 2 more people, though.
Yeah, who wants to join our Barbershop Quartet?
Well, I'm more of a not good singer.
Right, so we need 3 people to join our Barbershop Quartet.
I'll be Nigel. I'll be the guy who books everything and discovers the band.
Oh, okay. You'll discover us while we're playing at a bar.
Yes, I will.
Yeah, a very, very special bar.
Yeah. Which
I kind of want to know a little bit more background on this bar.
Well, I'm sure they dive into it in later seasons of The Simpsons.
I don't think they ever do.
There's a couple, I think, aren't there?
I don't know. Okay, we're going to talk about it in the episode.
Yes.
And then you guys can let us know if you know of a future episode where they talk about said bar.
Yes.
That we keep talking about. So let's get into the episode here. Oh yeah, welcome to season 5. I know you guys just finished season 4, which is awesome. It's great ending to season 4, but it's been about a month and a half since we've recorded.
Yeah.
And so we're welcoming everyone back to season 5, which you guys are just jumping into now, but we've jumped into about a month and a half later. So welcome to season 5, everyone.
Yes.
All right. So episode 1 of season 5 is Homer's Barbershop Quartet.
And this is just I feel like this is just one long episode dedicated to the Beatles. Because there's like a Beatles reference every 2 minutes.
Which is kind of funny because they already did Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
And so this episode we get the George.
Yeah, we get George Harrison and David Crosby, which is actually David Crosby's second episode.
Yeah. So the Simpsons writers must really like the Beatles.
I mean, they are a fantastic band.
Yeah, they're a big fan of the Beatles. But the Beatles were never a Barbershop Quartet.
Correct.
So maybe. I guess I don't know any true Barbershop Quartets. Although
the Dapper Dans from Walt Disney, which we'll get into in a second.
Yeah. So but here's the funny thing. So one of our favorite guests, Andy McElfresh.
Yes.
He is the leader of the National Barbershop Quartet.
Oh, we should have had him on for this episode.
I know. I actually messaged him. He's probably still busy with the whole Leno thing and never got back to me. But definitely going to see if we can get him for Treehouse of Horror number 4. So we'll look into that in about, I think it's only 4 or 5 episodes.
Yes, it is.
It's another quick turnaround for Treehouse of Horror.
Yes.
So the air date for this one is September 30th, 1993. In our recap, The Simpsons discover an old Barbershop Quartet album starring Homer. But I like how this is Homer's Barbershop Quartet.
Yeah.
We'll get to the flashback, but it almost means the flashback was these guys got together, started this group. I didn't necessarily think Homer was the leader.
No, he wasn't.
I feel like Skinner was more the leader.
I feel like it was a quarter leadership for everybody.
Oh, okay.
Except for Wiggum.
Yeah. Oh, Wiggum. All right. So, the chalkboard gag this week. I will never win an Emmy. And this is a reference to the first year The Simpsons was not nominated. Which, I mean, they've only been around 4 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
But the first year they weren't. I mean, 4 years, they were nominated 3 years.
Hey, that's a pretty good record. Now, the 4th season, as you guys have been listening, was a decent season.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I wouldn't necessarily say the best season, but it was fairly decent. It was a good.
It was the start of the golden age.
Exactly. So there was some what's that word? Testing the waters or messing around with storylines and how to figure it. So maybe that's why I didn't get nominated, because they're kind of...
There were some good episodes.
Yes, there definitely were, but I think they were more testing the waters and seeing what they could do, what they couldn't. And yes, the bad episodes we reviewed were definitely disconnected, disjointed. Yeah. They were probably trying something new that didn't work, and they never repeated that again. Yeah. So,
And the show, so coincidentally, the show and its cast won 9 Emmys since the premiere of, I believe, this episode. I don't know if it's this episode or just the premiere of the show. Obviously, they've won tons more in the last 30 years.
I wish Homer could win an Emmy, but he can't.
But he did get put into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so he can't win an Emmy, but he could get put in the Hall of Fame.
By the way, highly recommend. Fox did a superb documentary, I guess you can call it, for Homer at the Bat. I know I mentioned it at the Homer at the Bat episode, but check it out. fantastic.
All right, couch gag this week. And we get multiples. It's like we got all these repeats. They were like, all right, you know what? We did so many repeats last season. Let's try to get it right here.
Well, I'm gonna burn your theory because the next episode is a repeat.
Perfect. So let's no, okay. I don't know that. Let's say no one knows that because they've never watched The Simpsons before. Okay.
What, have you been living under a rock?
Exactly. All right. So, or I was just born. Yeah. So,
well, if you're bored, you're gonna watch The Simpsons.
Yeah, right.
Oh, just born.
Yes.
Okay, I heard bored.
So the first take, the Simpsons run into each other and break like they're made of glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, shattered all over the ground. I mean, that's a horrible couch gag. Horrible, just horrible. Yeah. We got to do a take two.
It's like, you know, they tried different couch gags and they're like, no, gotta do another take. Bad.
Second take, they run into each other, and this time they just kind of blob into one Simpson. Yeah. And I like how Homer's face was like half Bart, half Maggie, yeah. And they just, it's like Play-Doh just mixed together. But that one didn't work. That was bad. Bad take. Yeah. Take three. They just run into each other and explode.
That was the best take.
That was the best take. I mean, because they're obviously the Simpsons are TNT.
Yes,
they're dynamite. So,
I do. The best thing about this couch gag is they do have the guy come in with the God. I should really know the name of the thing with the clacker thing.
Clacker.
I don't think that's the actual term for it.
No.
But they actually go take, you know, they're like, all right, they did the clacker thing. So
and the funny thing is, I got to be a clacker guy on a real movie. If you guys never seen it, go see it. Tuscaloosa. It's on Amazon right now.
Oh, nice.
During that movie, it was filmed in Minnesota. I got to be on set, on crew. And for one of the days I was out there, the director was like, Steven, we need a clacky guy. And I got to do the take, you know, seen something, take whatever, clack. I was like, dude, that was...
I did that in college for TV shows we recorded.
Coolest thing ever.
So we are going to start out Season 5, Episode 1, going to the Springfield swap meet, which we'll get into a little bit later, is not in Springfield.
Apparently it's not.
So we see Mayor Quimby on the stage, and he's welcoming, he's talking to his security guards, making fun of the town, calling them hillbillies for doing a swap meet.
I mean, have you ever been to a swap meet? No. I feel like, okay, so you know how like all those art fairs that Mom likes to go to? I guess that's not really a swap meet because you're making stuff for the fair.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
would you consider town rummage sales?
I was just about to say, the last time I visited you here in Minnesota, you know, me and your wife and my nephew, we did your neighborhood garage sale.
Yeah, that's kind of like a swap meet.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, you buy certain crap you don't need for like 2 cents.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like a flea market for your town.
Yes,
that's basically it.
So you know, he turns to his security guards, making fun of the town, and then he turns back to Mike. He's like, "Oh, welcome."
He's like, "Welcome, swappers, to the Springfield swap meet. Ich bin ein Springfield swap meet patron."
So that is a reference. So for any of you younger kids out there, there's a myth that JFK misquoted. He was visiting Germany. He said the words "Ich bin ein Berliner," which people are like, oh, he said he was a donut. No. That's he didn't necessarily say it right, but he didn't necessarily say it wrong. So he was trying to say, I am, you know, a citizen of Berlin, you know, to reach across the aisle. So that is what this quote is. It is a reference to...
Isn't this the second Ich bin ein
Is
quote?
it?
I feel like they've done it already in a past episode.
It's possible.
Because I watched it, I'm like, is this a repeat gag? Now they're recycling gags. Like, you know what? We used to recycle couch gags, now we're recycling gags.
I mean, haven't they been recycling gags anyways for the last 10 years?
Maybe.
So then we see Mo has his own little tent set up, and it says Handicrafts by Mo, but the A in crafts is missing. So it's Handicrafts by Mo, and he is selling hand-painted clams, say that 5 times fast, that resemble Lucille Ball, and then he like takes one and he does like the little mimic thing to Bart and Lisa, and it's like, oh Mo, you sad, lonely man.
But see, that's the funny thing about this, is it, okay, if you're making something for something, that's like an art fair.
Yeah.
A swap meet is trading your old crap.
Well,
right?
maybe he made it and he wanted to trade it. Because
maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. It seems just really weird. And I'll get to that when we get to Comic Book Guy's stash.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so, and then, Mo does a little impersonation with the clam, and it's sad. It's funny, but it's sad. Yes. I thought it was hilarious. So then we go to another little table, and it says free trading cards. And the first thing I think of when I see that sign, baseball, sports trading cards. No, we got a rookie Joseph of Arimathea. Oh no, it was a rookie Methuselah card. Yeah. And it turns out to be Ned Flanders' little table, and he's trying to get rid of his collection of Bible cards.
Which is weird. Cards. Why wouldn't he give that to Rod and Todd?
And so, Bart, Milhouse, and Nelson are like looking at the cards and like, oh, these are awesome. And Ned comes by, he's like, oh, well, it's great to see the kids, having fun learning about religion. And the boys are like, and just like
learning about religion. And then they just run away.
I mean, granted, we learned about these guys because this is Old Testament stuff.
But why were they even looking at them? That's kind of the funny
because they saw the word trading cards.
But they were looking at each at the like, oh, rookie Methuselah,
maybe they didn't know any better. Because
he's like 25 conversions. I feel like they. Did they not realize that they were religious figures?
Maybe not. I don't know.
So weird.
So Lisa's looking around and she finds an original 1958 Malibu Stacy doll. And the guy who was selling it or getting rid of it, he's been in other episodes too.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, that was taken off the market when some kid poked their eyes out. And you look at the doll and she's just got two big pointy breasts.
It was almost funny. Like, rewatching it, my mind immediately went to it was Smithers selling it.
Oh.
Before it panned out and the guy was there, I'm like, oh, Smithers has it. Because, he's a big Malibu Stacy character.
Yeah.
Or a guy that likes it. And I was like, and then it flashed away to that guy. I'm like, oh, I guess it's not Smithers. No. It's kind of sad. Yeah. Would have been a good Smithers moment, but...
Yeah, so now we cut to Herman. He's got his old table of war relics.
and an atom bomb.
And so Skinner sees a helmet with the prisoner number 24601, and we find out it's his helmet from when he was a prisoner in Vietnam.
I wore this for 2 years in the Viet Cong internment center. Never thought I'd see this old girl again. And
he puts it on.
Still fits. Apparently they're fitted.
Yeah, and so this isn't the first appearance of this number in The Simpsons. This number also is tattooed, okay, this is outside The Simpsons, but this is the number tattooed on Jean Valjean in Les Miserables, as we talked about in Margin Chains. And it's also his only identification in the movie, for those who care. This is also the same number as Sideshow Bob's prison number in Black Widower. And, that was the one where we learned about Les Miserables. But this is also Marge's number in Margin Chains.
Yeah.
So, they really like Les Miserables.
Or they just really like this number, and that's what they're going to use. But I do like how Skinner... Well, okay. So, how did it make its way to Herman's antique shop?
Herman collects old crap from wars. I'm sure somebody was in Vietnam and was like, oh, this is a cool relic, and stored it away and brought it back and went to
Springfield. How does Skinner know it's his? Did he have his name engraved on? Oh, it had his prison number.
Yeah, it was his prison number.
Oh, duh. Makes sense.
I guess they could have used it for other prisoners, too. But,
after he got let go.
Yeah. So now we see Homer, and he's rummaging through a box labeled 5 cents each. This is I love this.
Oh my God.
These are the things he passes on. The Declaration of Independence.
Yep.
An Action Comics #1 comic book.
Oh.
The inverted Jenny stamps, which, for those who don't know, is just stamps with an
the airplanes are upside down.
Yep. And probably, to me, the greatest thing he passed was a Stradivarius violin. Those things are worth money.
Now, I don't know if this was in reference to maybe garage sales in the 90s or estate sales.
Yeah.
But I remember growing up where it was really big to hit estate sales, flea markets, like all these places where you could find cheap stuff because there were a bunch of old people who didn't know what they had. Yeah. Or... like, let's say our parents... How do you
not know you have the Declaration of Independence?
Right. Well, a good example is, like, our parents. So our parents grew up when, like, Action Comics #1 came out. And so let's say Dad I'm not saying mom probably wouldn't, but dad maybe collected comics.
Yeah.
And our grandma and grandpa were going through dad's old stuff, and we're like, well, he's off to college, let's sell all this crap. Our grandparents were the type of people that were like, this is junk, this isn't worth anything, let's sell it.
Well, to be fair, our mother sold our Nintendo.
Yes.
So, I mean...
Yeah. So, I mean, old people don't know what they have, and they just try to give it away.
Also, to sell the Declaration for 5 cents is a travesty. That thing is priceless.
How, isn't that supposed to be at the, where is it in D.C.?
Oh, the place in D.C.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Wow.
The Hall
of Records. I don't know. But shouldn't it be there?
Yeah.
Or maybe Nicolas Cage steal it and bring it to Springfield?
I was just about to say, I'm surprised Nicolas Cage didn't show up and like, yoink.
Too bad that movie wasn't out yet.
I know. So then we go to Marge, and she is selling different paintings. She has the painting of Homer, a painting of Ringo Starr, and a painting of Mr. Burns that she painted in the episode where she became a painter. There was one other...
Brush with Greatness.
Brush with Greatness. There was another one that I didn't mention that I believe is in your book. I think it's the first thing in the book.
The Bald Adonis. That's the Homer Simpson
painting. Oh, that's the... Okay, yeah. And then also she is selling the sailboat picture that is usually above the couch.
No one wanted it.
That's why they still have it.
That's why they still have it. Nobody brought it back.
So that's crazy. Like, so did Ringo Starr give that back, or did she paint multiples?
Well, remember her room of all the Ringo Starr paintings.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So yeah, so she's I mean, she's a great painter. I'm surprised nobody bought any of that.
Well, maybe they did. I guess all we found out that no one bought her wishbone necklaces. That's what we really find out.
Yeah. So now Bart and Lisa are together, and they're going through $1 records, which include the Wonderful, Marvelous, Krusty record, which I'm assuming are just songs that Krusty the Clown sang.
Yep.
We have Melvin and the Squirrels, which is a parody of Melvin and the Chipmunks. And Comic Book Guy plays the record, and you hear Melvin.
Yeah, that was so great.
Stuck a feather in his cap and called it Racer. Melvin. And we also see a Spinal Tap album in there.
Yeah.
Which is great, because we've all already had Spinal Tap on.
Yep.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but there appears to be, now I know in the episode where Bleeding Gum Murphy dies, Bart buys this album for Lisa, but it appears that there is a Bleeding Gums Murphy album behind Lisa when you're looking at it. You'll have to go back and look at it, but it appears to be a Bleeding Gums Murphy
There's
album.
more than one album in existence, I'm sure.
No, because Comic Book Guy had the last one.
Oh.
And he was the one selling these albums.
Man, there's a bunch of thieves in Springfield. Just running around to the Simpsons house and stealing stuff.
No, because this was before Bart bought it for her. So Bleeding Gums still was in possession of it before Bart bought it.
Oh.
So I believe that was in there. And so Lisa pulls out a album, and it's got Homer, Skinner, Apu, and Barney on it. And it's called Meet the Bee Sherps. And we find out Homer was in a Barbershop Quartet. And this is probably the greatest line. I still love this with Bart. So Bart asks Homer when he recorded an album. And Homer's like, Bart, I can't believe you don't remember it. It was only 8 years ago. And Bart's like, thanks to television, I can't remember what happened 8 minutes ago. And I still use a variation of that line to this day because I love it, because I have a horrible memory. And so the family starts laughing at Bart. And Bart's like, but it's a serious problem. I wonder if that was kind of a reference to the attention span of kids in those days.
Thanks to television, I can't remember what happened 8 minutes ago.
And Bart's like, oh, it's a serious problem. And they all keep laughing. And then Bart starts laughing. And he's like, what are we laughing about? Because he has a horrible attention span and memory. So I love that. I love that so much.
Yep. And so now we get a flashback. So Homer is like, it all happened during the magical summer of 1985. A maturing Joe Piscopo left Saturday Night Live to conquer Hollywood. People Express introduced a generation of hicks to plane travel. And I was in a Barbershop Quartet.
So the reference to Joe Piscopo is a little weird because he says he left in 85, but Piscopo left the show at the end of its 9th season in 84.
Okay. So as far as flashbacks go, I just wanted to kind of bring this up. So
Yeah.
because it's really cool, because you're not really watching any of the new stuff, but
Yeah.
I've been watching all the new stuff, and they've been doing a lot of flashbacks
Yeah.
recently, just because some new ideas, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. But in these early years, they at least kept some sort of flow and consistency with flashbacks. So,
don't even get me started about the flashback where Homer was a teen in the 90s.
Yeah. All right. So our latest flashback, or not really sort of a flashback, was like the front when they had the graduation, or not the
ceremony.
Called? Yeah, the reunion.
Reunion.
Yep. And so Lisa's first word was 1983 was the flashback for 1983.
Gotcha.
So, kind of looking at it, so 1983, Bart was...
You did 4?
4. No, he's 10 in 93.
So minus 10. He wouldn't have been born.
He wouldn't have been born. Okay, now I'm confused.
So, needless to say, so here's the thing when it comes to flashbacks. You also have to remember, like, especially if Homer's the one telling the story, there's going to be a crap ton of inconsistencies. Because as we go through this flashback, there are inconsistencies to what Homer says.
Yes.
So, I mean, you can't take the flashbacks as gospel, because it's Homer telling the flashbacks.
Yeah. So, it appears Bart's like, I don't know, 6-ish.
Yeah.
Lisa's
1. She's supposed to be
She's
1.
supposed to be 1, yes. But she appears more to be like 3-ish, I'd say, give or take 3-ish. All right. So now we head to Moe's Cavern.
Instead of Moe's
Tavern. I wonder what, see, now as I mentioned at the top of this episode, they need to go back and give us a history of Moe's Cavern.
Yes.
Now, if they haven't done this already, they need to.
Yes.
If they have done it, I need you guys to let us know. If you guys know if there's a season where they recant Moe's telling of how he started his own bar.
Yes.
Because I think we need that story.
Well, I know there's I swear to God, there is a episode in the later seasons where he talks about how he became a bartender.
Okay. So, maybe it's that one. We'll have to put a pin in it.
Yeah.
And see if we come up with it.
So in about 15 years, we'll tell you guys.
Exactly. So we're recording this episode probably about 3-4 weeks before it's going to air.
Yes.
But if you guys have seen the latest episode of Sunny, have you seen the latest episode of Sunny?
I've not started season
So I
15.
guess I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. So go watch the latest season of Sunny, and you'll learn.
And by the way, when he says Sunny, it's always sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes. I'm sure all of our listeners know that, but maybe not. But we get to learn how the gang gets the bar.
Oh, okay.
So watch it. It's really cool.
Right.
But see, I want that story for Moe. I
Yes.
want to know how Moe gets it. So now we enter, and Homer tells everyone he was in a Barbershop Quartet, and the original quartet was Apu, Skinner, Homer, and Wiggum. Now, I definitely agree with everyone in the quartet that Wiggum had probably the worst voice of all of them.
Yes.
Now, how he got picked was probably just because
he was the last guy ready to go.
Yeah, no one wanted to be in a Barbershop Quartet, so they're like, all right, we'll pick Wiggum.
Yeah.
And so Homer says they would sing at Moe's every afternoon, and the crowds would go wild. And I like how we see women's underwear being thrown on stage, and roses, and stuff that women would throw on stage for hot guys singing. But the only person in the audience is Barney.
So the other cool thing, and I mentioned this at the top, talking about famous barbershop quartets, the famous Disneyland barbershop quartet, the Dapper Dans, provide the singing voices for the B Sharps, except for Wiggum, because Wiggum has such a terrible voice.
Nice.
And there's actually, when they're singing with Wiggum, you can actually hear Wiggum's voice underneath the Dapper Dans.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So who does? I guess don't know who does Wiggum.
Wiggum?
No, who does Wiggum?
Yeah,
like
Wiggum
who voices
does
Wiggum? I honestly don't know that. I wish I did. But anyway, so we get back, and so Bart is talking like a 1890s prospector, because he thinks that barbershop quartets are old timey.
Hank Azaria.
Hank Azaria does Wiggum. Okay, so Hank Azaria did his own voice singing. So that's kind of cool. I'm okay with Hinkasaria putting his voice to it. So now we get Bart, kind of being a smart ass because he thinks barbershop quartets are old timey, and he's talking, and Homer's like, don't talk like a prospector. and Bart's like, dang gummit. And so now we cut to them singing at the old folks' home. Yeah. And I like how he's like, that's my boy. I'm so proud of him. And
it's that old...
it's the fat, balding one.
No, but the guy who asked him which one it was is the old... I ain't what I used to be, old man singer guy. Yeah. I don't know his name. Yeah. It's like Joe or something. Yeah.
And he's like, oh, is that the one? The fat, balding one? And he was like, no, it's the Hindu guy. What? No, Abe either was joking around or he... Okay, so but this...
Well, no, he didn't want the guy to realize Homer was his son. He was ashamed of Homer. Yeah, okay. So he picked up Pooh.
But now, do you think that's because the episode a few episodes ago where Abe thought Homer was going to make him a lot of money? It was the flashback one. I think it was the Lisa one. And Homer's up in the choir, and he's singing beautifully, and his voice cracks. And then Abe's like, God, gummit, and punches a hole through his head. Yeah. Do you think that's why he doesn't want to...
Well, I mean, it's Homer. Homer's just an embarrassment.
Apparently not. At least not right now, anyway. And so next, they go to the prison and sing where Snake is a prisoner. So he's old. Bad. He's been bad for quite some time. Yeah. And he's like, I'm going to hit that cop with a rock. But I think I'll wait till the song is over. And then the song ends, and then he hucks the rock at him.
So my question is, in all these like montages of them singing, why is Wiggum wearing his police uniform?
Maybe he was on duty. But I don't think it would be smart to wear
exactly at the prison. Now, granted, I'm assuming most prisoners, when they're arrested by certain cops, like, depending on how it goes, they probably remember that cop for the rest of their life. Yeah. So, even if...
But it doesn't seem like Wiggum arrested Snake, though, because...
But he is the chief of police.
He is, so he might not know who the chief of police is, though.
So, if he didn't wear the uniform, he might not have had a rock thrown at his head.
Exactly. Yeah. So, then we cut to the Church of Springfield, First Church of Springfield, where the sign out front reads, Today... What a fiend we have in God.
But here's the thing with the word fiend, the R, you can clearly see that the R is missing out of it because there is a space between the F and the I.
Yes. So Bart, oh wait, well, maybe Bart.
Maybe Bart.
Somebody
in the neighborhood.
Yeah, prankster. Yeah. And also the B Sharps.
Now here's the issue with that. They weren't named the B Sharps yet.
What were they called?
They weren't anything.
They didn't have a name? I guess they didn't have the B Sharps name, but it'd be hard to press to think that they didn't have a name at all.
So why did they, did the writers screw up or the animators screw up with that? Because they weren't the B Sharps yet. Yeah. They still had Wiggum.
Yep. And they still had Wiggum, so I don't know. Yeah. And so I like how the song they sing repeatedly through this entire montage is Goodbye, my Coney Island baby. I mean, is that the only song they knew?
Yeah, probably.
That's the only song.
Well, as we'll get to it, they write their own songs eventually. Well, Homer does. Yeah. So then, we see Lovejoy using the quartet to collect more money, and Flanders tries to stop him, and Lovejoy's like, hey, I saw an oil spill outside that looked like Jesus. And Ned's like, really? And leaves. That's also a reference to some pastor who tried to do that too in the early 90s, I guess. Yeah. But, and then we end the montage back at Moe's where it all began. And
the crowds are bigger.
They got a name out. And he's greeted by an agent, and the agent hands his card over. The card reads, Management by Nigel. Stars discovered, fortunes made, hats blocked. What does that mean? Hats blocked.
I don't know. Something British, I'm assuming.
Oh, is it like blocking hat? Like, because I think I've heard of the term blocking hats. Like it's a form of hat. Oh. So maybe that's what that is. He is British.
He is British.
So Nigel is based on Brian Epstein, who is the Beatles manager from the 24th of January. Well, he was from January 62 until his death in August of 67. So about 4.5, 5 years.
Yeah. Now, was this the episode the part of the episode where someone goes up to the... Was it Nigel that goes up to the bar? Is like, how'd you get those women to scream?
Oh, yeah, this is the part. He's like, I didn't pay those women.
I didn't pay those women.
Well, Homer, you
guys...
Oh,
no, it wasn't that.
No?
No, it was when they replaced... Remember, it was when they replaced...
Wiggum, Barney with Wiggum.
Yep.
Okay. So Nigel tells Homer that Wiggum, needs to get replaced because he's two village people. Yeah.
No, that's his own fault. If he wasn't wearing his cop uniform...
To be fair, he needed to be replaced anyways. He had a horrible singing voice.
But that's not what Nigel thought.
So I love the fact that Homer's like, I'll take care of it. So he drives Wiggum out to the middle of the woods like a dog.
Wiggum's hanging his head out the window, panting too.
And he's like, all right, boy, you're free. And then Wiggum gets out of the car. Homer drives out. He's like, wait. And he just howls at the moon. Oh, my God. So good. So good. So then, Skinner and Apu are introducing themselves to Nigel.
Yeah, he's like, Apu Nahasapima Petalan. Never fit on a marquee, love. From now on, your name is Apu Beaumarchais. What is it? Beaumarchais?
Beaumarchais? Let me...
Beaumarchais?
It's French.
Yeah, I know.
It's very, very French. Apu du Beaumarchais. Beaumarchais.
And that's not long enough to do
I know.
To be on a marquee.
And it's also French. You can be like, and from now on, you're Apu Smith.
Exactly.
It's a Barbershop Quartet. So anyways, Nigel asks Apu to change his name. And so then we see Grandpa sings so now they're doing auditions to replace Wiggum.
Yeah.
And we see Grandpa singing a swinging rendition of Old MacDonald. Which he does, honestly, Abe had a decent singing voice. But they were looking for a tenor.
But he was like, I was like, and on that farm there was a chick.
The swingin'est chick I know. and then Homer yells at him to get off the stage, but Abe's like, I can't. Why can't you get off the stage?
He doesn't, I don't remember how I got up here.
And so then we cut to Willie, and he sings Downtown by Petula Clark.
Oh,
Downtown.
Yeah, that one. That was
great.
It sounded Dune. Was it Dune?
Dune. Well, he's Irish. No, Scottish. Sorry, he's Scottish. Willie would kill me if I called him Irish.
I know.
And then we get Jasper, and he sings I love it so much. He sings the theme. So the show is called A Summer Plays, but he's like towards the end, he's like, it's the theme from A Summer Place. Well, it's like, was it The Simpsons that did it? Where it was like, they said, the song was theme from Jaws or something?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's so good. I love all these stuff. So now we cut to Dr. Doolittle and, it's Wiggum in disguise. And his mustache falls off and they're like, Skinner's like, oh, it's Wiggum. And so Wiggum jumps on a piano and throws himself out a window. There's a lot of people throwing themselves out of windows in early seasons of The Simpsons. This is at least the 8th time this has happened.
The last time was, what was it? Homer jumping out onto the concrete, right? It was supposed to be on Barney's pillow.
Oh, yeah. When they were going to...
the Duff Brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the last window jump.
Oh, my God. Dejected, Apu, Skinner, and Homer go back to Moe's, and then they hear someone singing in the bathroom. He's got a very angelic voice, very nice, and they're like, well, who's in the bathroom? And they're all like, collectively, Barney! And we see Barney on the bathroom floor looking for his toothpick, which is gross. And they're like, hey, Barney, would you be in our group?
Sure, why not? Now, where's my toothpick?
And then he keeps singing while he's looking for his toothpick. It's fantastic. Who knew the drunken lush Barney had a magical singing voice?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because he had the singing voice of Homer.
Yes.
Before.
Yeah.
His voice cracked.
Yes.
So, but now we get Barney joining the group.
Yeah.
And Wiggum comes in. He's like. So, he basically sets up a protest.
Well, I don't know if he set it up. But
he set it up.
He set it up.
Oh, he set it up. Well, maybe not. Maybe people are really big fans of Wiggum. Until everyone hears Barney busting his chops. And yeah, everyone changes their mind. They're like, yay!
And then Wiggum just like slinks out of the bar.
Yeah, just
he's like, oh shit.
Yep. And so, then this is where Mo praises Nigel for hiring the girls to scream. I was like, I didn't pay anyone.
That's fantastic.
I mean, I guess Mo thought they were bad. I don't...
Dude. Okay, Mo, I don't know, like, if Mo screwed something up, but man, he was getting like, we had the Flaming Moe's episode where he's just getting waves of customers, and then he's got the Barbershop Quartet, and he's a wave of customers. Who cares if anybody paid women to scream? It's like, dude, you have paying customers in your bar.
Yeah, I like how Moe's only gets packed when there's something extremely special going on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a dive bar.
And at the end of the gig, they try to come up with a name. So, he's like, oh, well, we got to come up with a name. And so they're like...
Nigel's like, how about Homer Simpson and... Homer Simpson verse 3. Because, like, a verse is like, a verse in a song.
Well, you have 3 verses. I don't know if was that it?
Yeah, that was what Nigel said. And then Barney's like, I don't like it. And Apu and Skinner are like, I don't know.
And so Skinner's like, we need a name that's witty at first, but that seems less funny each time you hear it. And Apu's like, how about the B Sharps?
And then everybody laughs.
And Skinner's like, perfect. The B Sharps.
The B Sharps. The B Sharps. And it's Wiggum trying to put his hand in.
Yeah.
You're all under arrest.
Boy, Wiggum is pissed.
Well, they kicked him out.
Yep. And so we cut back to the car and they're driving away from the
swap meet.
And Bart's like, dude, check out this cool pencil holder I bought. And Homer's like, oh man, I haven't seen a bong forever.
So I have a question. They're driving through the desert. You clearly see cactuses, but this is the Springfield swap meet.
Would this be downtown or in the
Where
town
was
square?
Yeah, exactly. Where was the swap meet? Clearly not in Springfield. It should be the Springfield swap meet. It should be, we don't know where the hell we are swap meet.
I can see the ad for the swap meet. Okay, everyone, we need you to grab all your crap, drive 50 miles out of town, and we're going to set up shop there.
Like, literally, the only point to where, like, them driving home through the desert was to set up the car breaking down.
Yes, that's the only reason to do that. And so, car blows, tire gets blown.
Yep.
And Marge goes off. And I like how there's a sign that says gas 12 miles. And so, Marge is going to be a bit. And so, Homer was trying to come up with new songs.
Yeah, he was telling more of the story.
Yeah, he was telling more of the story. He's like, I guess we're famous now, so now we got to come up with our own songs. Like, there was nothing in Al Capone's vault, but it wasn't Geraldo's fault.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's a great reference.
Yeah.
I don't know when that took place. I thought that took place in the 90s.
Did it? If you want to look that up.
Double check.
So, this reference, for those of you that don't know, was the failure on live TV program The Mystery of Al Capone's Vault, hosted by Gerardo Rivera. The program is famous for opening one of Capone's secret vaults, only for them to discover there was nothing inside it. It's kind of like buried treasure. Yeah. The pirates moved it.
1986.
Okay, so that makes sense.
But this was in 85.
Okay, Homer has really blown this story out of whack here.
He doesn't know what year it is.
He doesn't. And so Marge comes back into the room with a baby on board sign.
Yep.
And basically it's like, now people will stop intentionally ramming our car.
Why were people intentionally ramming their car in the first place? What kind of sick bastards are these?
I don't know.
But
they just hated Homer's bumper stickers.
Maybe. So, then, we cut to them in the recording studio and they record Baby on Board. And Homer can't wait to tell Marge, but Nigel doesn't want him to tell her because he wants his marriage to be a secret so women will think they have a chance of having sex with him.
Yeah, but I like how Homer took the Baby on Board sign and turned it into something really dirty. The song.
I had to re-listen to it.
You didn't hear the song? Okay, I got the lyrics
Okay,
for you. So you don't have to go back and listen. I got the lyrics for you. Baby on board, how I've adored that sign on my car's window pane.
Okay.
Bounce in my step, loaded with pep, 'cause I'm driving in the carpool lane. Call me a square, friend, I don't care. That little yellow sign can't be ignored. I'm telling you, it's mighty nice. Each trip's a trip to paradise with my baby on board.
I don't know how that's dirty.
No? I guess not. Okay, I guess I was wrong. Maybe it was just the way they were singing it.
Maybe.
I thought they were baby woman, like,
No.
you know, like some people call it. Hey,
you need to get your mind out of the gutter. This is a family show.
Sure it is.
And so Nigel's like, well, just like he explains it, and he's like, oh, I'll just tell Marge how you explained it, and then we cut to Marge crying, and yeah, not the smartest thing. I mean, it is Homer.
I just like how the fact that Marge hasn't left Homer yet.
Yeah. So then
they have 2 kids. And a third on the way.
Yeah. So then we cut to Grandpa Abe. He's listening to the B-Sharps on the radio. I mean, they're already there.
Yep.
And then I love how Jasper comes in. He's like, hey, Paul Harvey's on. And they switch radio stations. And they talk about a little boy who grew up to be somebody. He's like, that's the rest of the story. God, I miss Paul Harvey.
I know.
Rest in peace.
Well, it's funny. He was always radio, right? Until he did 60 Minutes.
Probably.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know his life story, Steve.
He was on. I remember him from 60 Minutes.
Me too. Well, he still did radio even when he did 60 Minutes too.
Okay.
He recorded because he was out of Chicago.
Yep.
And Mom and Dad always listened to him.
Yep.
So, and then, the song is playing and we cut to the sea captain who's fighting a squid. And he hears the song and he makes up the squid. And he's like, I just thought there is treasure in your belly.
Yeah, I heard there was treasure in your belly. Where'd that squid come from? Because usually squid only live in oceans. So are we believing now that Springfield has currently jumped to an ocean side?
I mean, theoretically, so far we believe it to be in Utah.
Well, I thought it was a lake. I always thought Springfield was on a lake.
Yeah, me too.
Not in an ocean.
So yeah, Utah. Well, Utah is in the middle of the country.
Yeah, exactly. So how did a squid get there?
Well, maybe they moved to like Oregon or something. Does the Pacific Ocean have squid in it?
We haven't. What? Yeah. Well, okay. So listening and reading all my kids' aquatic books, I've learned that the giant squid lives in the midnight zone, which is in the deepest part of the ocean.
So where did the squid come from?
Where did the squid come from?
Maybe the sea captain found it and brought it back with him and kept it alive, and then he fought it trying to get the treasure out of its belly. I don't know, we're going way off track with the squid. So after listening to the song, Marge proclaims that Homer is going to be famous, but Homer says that won't change him. Yeah. He will always be a loving father. And then Marge is like, where's Bart? And Homer's like, I could put him somewhere safe. And we cut to Bart in the laundry room underneath the laundry basket with a giant rock on it. And he's got a mug and he's just doing the jail thing, just banging the mug back and forth on the bars.
Why did they need Bart out of the way?
Sexy time? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So apparently the B-Sharps made some money because Homer buys Abe a new car. And Abe has a heart attack, but still asks for the keys.
Why did Abe have a heart attack?
Because
he didn't think...
Because Homer shocked him with a new car.
Apparently.
And so now we get the John F. Kennedy Airport, 1986. So now we're in the next year. This is a reference. So the scene where this is the scene where the B-Sharps are greeted at New York JFK Airport by their fans, and they do a press conference. This is in reference to the reception the Beatles received when they arrived at JFK Airport in February of '64 for their appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show, which was 2 days later in February, and their first tour of the U.S. before returning home to the UK on February 22nd, 1964. Again, this episode is riddled with Beatles references.
So was it a very short U.S. tour?
I mean, they were in the States for 15 days, so 2 weeks.
That's a pretty short tour.
I mean, they lived in the UK.
I guess. So maybe 15 dates is
I mean, they
good.
probably did like...
Or maybe not even 15 dates, because like airplane, you couldn't really...
They probably did New York, Chicago, LA, and then went home.
So kind of like Spinal Tap?
Yeah.
Those 3 cities?
Or maybe Philadelphia, because I believe that's also a huge city as well. So maybe they did like a 4-city tour and went home.
Yeah.
So Apu was asked...
conference.
Yeah, so at the press conference, Apu was asked if he is really Indian. And he said, like, on the many arms of Vishnu, that is a lie. Oh, I love it. I love it. And then, so Barney is asked how he joined the group, and he does tell the truth, and he's like, well, they found me on the men's room floor, and the press just eats it up. And he's like, all right, well, okay. And then, this is probably the best question. Skinner is like, can you justify that you're the funny one of the group? He's like, yes. And then the press just laughs.
Yep.
Oh.
And so now they head over to the Statue of Liberty. Because that's where JFK is.
Yep.
The airport is in New York. So they're playing at the Statue of Liberty. I'm guessing on Staten Island.
Yes.
Because obviously the statue is literally right there.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I think they were on a ship. No, they were on a ship.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe the Staten Island ferry?
No, it was like a ship.
Oh, okay. Guess I didn't notice. Maybe I didn't see the shot of it.
Yeah.
And Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan are attending the concert.
Well, I mean, when the Beatles are in town.
The B-Sharps.
The B-Sharp.
The Beatles Sharps. That's what they should have went with for the name. The Beatles Sharps.
I think that would have been 2 on the nose for the Beatles reference.
Yep. And so Homer dedicates this singing of Baby on Board to the Statue of Liberty. But I like how she describes her as
the 500-foot lady, or 500-year-old lady who's like 40 feet tall and weighs like 300 tons.
Oh my God, she's gonna kill us all!
And then Homer's like, I was talking about the statue. That one time where Homer actually makes sense, and I believe most people on board understood. This crazy guy's like, there's a giant woman who's gonna kill us all.
Yep. And so now, apparently the B-Sharps got to be on the Johnny Carson. Or was it just Johnny Carson was just talking about
Yeah, Johnny Carson was just talking about him.
Yep. And Wiggum's watching, and Johnny Carson makes fun of Wiggum for... how did anyone even know?
Yeah, that's weird.
Because no one's going around being like, yeah, Wiggum was an original member. Like, no one's going around. I mean, after Nigel got rid of Wiggum, who cares? But Wiggum gets pissed and becomes a stormtrooper and starts completely missing the TV on... I mean, maybe 8 feet away?
Yeah.
Can't shoot the TV?
I love how Sarah's like, use the remote.
Yeah, and then he flips it to Joan Rivers, and she's making fun of Wiggum too, and he hucks his gun at it and cracks the TV.
I guess that's one way to turn it off. Now you need a new TV.
Yep. And so Marge finally makes it back, and apparently she's the one that has to put the tire on.
Yeah, well, Homer's telling the story.
Yeah, Homer's telling the story. And now we get David Crosby's second appearance on The Simpsons.
Yep. The first appearance was Marge in Chains.
Yep. And so now we cut to the Grammys award show. Mm-hmm. And MC Hammer is... I
don't know if that was like supposed to be Aretha Franklin, like the first nominee. But if you look behind her, it looks a lot like MC Hammer. I
mean, it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
Especially early 90s.
Late 80s.
Oh, right, because it's a flashback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he started in the 80s.
Yeah, he did. Yep. And so the B-Sharps win, and I like how Homer gets to meet George Harrison at the after party.
Yep. And for those who don't know anything about the Beatles, he is the lead singer.
Yep. And like, oh my God! Where did you get those brownies?
Homer, as he's telling the story, is like, this was like the greatest day of my life. And it's like, you think, oh my God, I get to meet George Harrison. No, Homer's more excited by the brownies.
And they do the animation thing where they show Homer eating thousands of brownies, but the plate is not getting smaller.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he ate that entire plate of brownies.
No. It like new brownies kept morphing from the bottom.
Yeah, okay.
He kept keeping the plate on, And so Homer is on the phone with baby Lisa, and she says that Homer and the B-Sharps at the Grammy, he's like, I hope you beat Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Yeah. Oh, no, she's like, I saw you beat Dexy's Midnight Runners. Yeah. So this episode being set in 85, DMR's only US hit was Come On Eileen, which has been re-recorded several times with many. It's a great song. However, that topped the charts in 83. So the last year they would have been considered for any award would have been 84. So Homer really doesn't know what year it is.
Nope. It's all that alcohol.
Yeah.
And so now Homer sat on the balcony because he kind of misses his family.
Yep.
He actually does. And he goes out of the balcony and he sees a billboard that says, Happy Family Brand Bourbon. And so
there's a little happy family on it.
And the squeaky teen bellboy comes out and says, here's the champagne you ordered. He's like, here, have this as a tip. And the bellboy throws it over the balcony.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's just a Grammy.
Yeah. It's like, hey, don't you throw your garbage down here.
And he throws the guy at the bottom, throws the Grammy back up and hits Homer in the head. See, Homer's got so much brain damage. That's why, his stories are so inconsistent.
Well, he did fall down a gorge.
But that was...
And went into a coma.
But did he ever come out of that coma? Because remember, the theory is he never came out of the coma and everything after the coma.
Yeah, but this would be technically before the coma.
Is it before the coma?
85? Yeah, 85 is before the coma.
No, but when he's telling this story...
I would have to assume so if all these episodes are chronological.
But are they? Again, the theory states he never came out of the coma and everything afterwards was just his imagination.
So is he imagining in his brain that he was a B sharp?
Yes.
Nah, I don't think so.
Anyways, so now we cut back. They're finally home after spending probably 5 days in the desert because it takes a lot of time to walk 12 miles each way for Marge carrying a tire. He pulls out a box that's old merchandise, and they had their own foam that was pulled off the market because it was poisonous. And he's like, and Homer's like, yeah, only if you ate it. And then we see Bart eating it.
Yep. At least I can't believe you guys are so popular. What'd you do? Screw up like the Beatles and say you were bigger than Jesus? All the time. It was the title of her second album.
And he pulls out their second album called Bigger Than Jesus, and they're walking on water. And this is a direct parody of the art on the Beatles album Abbey Road, where they're walking across the famous road.
Yep.
And the album's title is also a reference to a controversial statement made by John Lennon. Unlike the Beatles, however, no visible fallout is shown from the Bigger Than Jesus comment, which put the Beatles in rough waters. But, I mean, they still pulled through because it's the frickin' Beatles. And they were bigger than Jesus, let's be realistic. So, again, it's Beatles mania.
Yep.
And then Homer's like, an iron law of showbiz is what goes up must come down. And Bart and Lisa share examples where that isn't true.
Oh, yes. So we're about to learn the iron law of show business. What goes up must come down. What about Bob Hope? He's been consistently popular for over 50 years. So is Sinatra. Well, anyway, we're getting all tired of Dean Martin still packs him in. Ditto Tom Jones. Shut up.
Oh, God, that's so good. That's fantastic. So we learned while Homer was away, she made a replacement Homer where the head was a bucket and the arms were
pillows,
mops.
Yeah, and pillow stuffing.
And so the head falls off and the kids scream and it did not go well.
And then Homer's hand that's like a rubber glove gets flicked onto Bart's face and he screams.
Here's the worst part about this episode. So we see, now granted, I'm guaranteeing you this is part of the story, part of the flashback, so don't at me. Santa's little helper is seen burying replacement Homer's head. However, they did not have Santa's little helper yet.
Okay. So
no. Whatever you're about to say, no.
No. Think about it. Okay. So we cut to them having a flashback. But okay. So Homer and Lisa and Bart, current time are having that conversation about why they aren't still around.
Yes.
Homer mentions that Marge made a replacement.
Well, Marge said she did.
Or yeah, Marge walks in. She said she made a Homer replacement. Flashback to that. Right? You're tracking?
I'm tracking,
Okay,
but I know what you're about to say, and it's wrong.
Cut to...
No, it's wrong.
No,
I know you were about to say.
They cut
Why would that head be anywhere in the house? This was 8 years ago.
Name one thing they don't throw away.
Everything.
They don't throw... Yeah, exactly. They don't throw away anything. The head still...
No.
Maybe Santa's little helper was unburying it. Maybe he buried it in the backyard and was currently unburying it.
No, I don't.
That's not a flashback. That's not part of the flashback.
That is part of the flashback.
No, boo! That's not part of the flashback.
You're part of the flashback. Anyways, so now we cut to the flashback, and Barney is...
See, now we cut back to the flashback.
No, it was still the flashback.
No,
see, you have me. No,
you just said that we cut
We're
back.
We're still in the flashback, and we're at Moe's Cavern. And Barney is there with his girlfriend, who is similar to John Lennon's girlfriend, Yoko Ono.
Was she black and white, too?
Yeah, she was. And for those of you who don't know, many Beatles fans hold Yoko Ono responsible for the band's breakup, but that's not really true. And that's all I'm going to say about that. They order beers. Well, Barney orders a beer. She orders
a bowl hat with, was it water or
tea with a plum? And Mo pulls it out and gives it to her.
Hey man, Mo back then had everything.
Apparently. So now we cut to the recording studio, and Barney, he's like, I want to take our style in a new direction.
Well, you forgot they're currently recording almost like a commercial.
Oh yeah,
but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was like, and then so it was like, well, what about that song that you wrote about Mr. T?
That's right. Yeah, they all look disheveled because they hadn't done anything in a while. And Barney comes in. He's like, I'm going to play you my song. It's going to take this quartet in a new direction. Yeah. And it starts with his girlfriend saying number 8, followed by Barney burping repetitively. Yeah. This is similar to the start of Revolution 9, where you hear an unknown announcer say number 9 repetitively.
Never heard it.
Never heard of it. Well, there's a reason none of us have ever heard of it. So Barney's looks before they break up is similar to how John Lennon looked before the Beatles broke up. The breakup of the Beatles is similar to this, as they broke up due to not wanting to change their style.
Yeah.
Again,
I don't know why you'd want to change their style.
Yeah,
it was a good style.
Yeah, it was a great style.
And so now the Apu, Skinner, and Homer are all kind of wrapped around the U.S. Weekly magazine.
Us Weekly.
U.S.
It's us.
Why can't it be U.S.?
Because it's us.
Sure. Us Weekly, spelled U.S. So the group wasn't hot anymore, so they went their separate ways.
Yeah, because they had a section, what's hot, what's not, and they were not.
They were not. And so, obviously, Skinner went back to being a principal. Back to?
I guess. How long has he been principal at that school?
I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait until we get to the fake Skinner episode, which is universally freaking hated, which I don't blame him.
And so Apu went back to the Quickie Mart.
Yep.
And so Sanjay must have been running it at the time.
Yeah.
And I like his well, but this is a great job. I'll go back to this. How much is this milk?
$20.
$12.95.
Oh, so
Oh, ripping people off again. Yeah. Then Barney went back to being a barfly.
Shocking.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
What
else is he going to do? And then Homer went back to being a safety inspector.
He was not, though. Not at that time. He was not safety inspector yet.
Okay, when did he become safety inspector? Was it the episode where Lisa's first word?
I think so.
Well, that would be 1983. Because I think that's when or was it when Bart was born?
It might have been when Bart is born. Homer's Odyssey is the 3rd episode of The Simpsons, 1990. Check that.
But that's when he became the safety inspector.
Yeah, Homer becomes a crusader for safety.
Yeah.
So 1990. So this is we're in 86. So this is 4 years.
But he was there when Bart was born. He was working at the plant. It doesn't say he just said.
But if you look at the area where he goes back to, it's a safety inspector area.
You don't know what the.
Yeah, we do.
There's several rooms. That was sector.
No.
Maybe that shot of the flashback was in sector 9G, not
No,
7G.
Pretty sure that's 7G.
You don't know.
I know.
And that chicken was no way a safety inspector.
Well, Homer did give it a good home.
He did.
Right into his belly.
Yep. No, I don't think so. I don't think that was
I think it was.
All they said was Homer. All they did was show Homer going back to the plant.
Also, the other thing, if you look at the flashbacks, Homer has hair, and as we know, every time a new kid was born, he pulled out his hair, and he had a full head of hair.
When Lisa was born, he had a full, not a full head, partial head. He wasn't bald.
But in the flashback, he had a full head of hair, like a full head.
Moderate. No. It's definitely not full, not long and flowy like when Bart was born. No, look at it. In this picture, he looks more like a herb. More like just low cut.
I don't agree.
No.
Anyways.
No. Okay. And so now the kids, ask why they haven't heard about the B-Sharps until now. Where's the money? Where's the gold record? Homer says, we will answer those questions another day.
Time for bed.
Go to bed. He's like, I'll never forget my 5.5 weeks at the top. Man, that was some story. But there's still a few things I don't get. Like, how come we never heard about this until today? Yeah, and what happened to all your money you made? Why haven't you hung up your gold record? Since when could you write a song?
That's right.
Those are perfectly good answers. There are perfectly good answers to those questions. But they'll have to wait until another night.
And we never hear about it.
We never hear from him again.
Yeah, what happened to all of his money? I'm sure they made
floorboards.
Oh, yeah.
Floorboards. That's where Homer Stashy knew. Yeah. Well, remember, he didn't have any money for his triple bypass. I mean, think of celebrities today, man. They blew through their money and go bankrupt.
Yeah.
Very fast.
Yes, they do.
And who knows? I mean, a paycheck split 4 ways. And they were big, but they weren't like Beatles big.
Well, they were touring like the Beatles, at least in the U.S.
Yeah, exactly. And so Homer, flips the back of the album over, and we get a shot of his crack showing.
Yeah, Apu, Barney, and Skinner all face towards the camera, and Homer's turned around. And you see his ass crack.
Yeah, that was good. So Homer calls a group to meet on the roof of Moe's.
Yep.
Which doesn't say Moe's Cavern anymore.
Nope,
it just says Moe's.
Yeah.
And at the entrance of the roof, which I didn't know Moe had roof access.
I mean, why not?
Well, most 1-floor things have like one of those like,
I suppose.
usually those things are on like apartment roofs or
That's
like
true,
much taller buildings. But they have a roof access entrance.
Yep.
And you see some graffiti on the back that says, for a good time call, Edna Krabappel, 555-6921. As well as a Alberto graffiti.
So who's Alberto?
Who is Alberto?
Who is Alberto?
I don't know. And so now we get the B-Sharps kind of redoing their rendition.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? We haven't done this in a while. Let's just do it. And so across the street on one of the taller buildings, you see the human fly scaling a building.
Human fly here. I stayed up all night dyeing my underwear.
Yeah. Now that has to be, isn't that a reference to someone that did the human fly on the Empire State Building?
Possibly.
I don't know what year that was, but I kind of remember them doing a human fly.
Was it this?
Check it out. So the rooftop concert, which the B-Sharps perform on the roof of Moe's Tavern at the end of the episode, is a parody of the January 30th, 1969 Beatles rooftop concert, which was performed on the roof of the group's Apple Corps studio in London, England.
So, posted in March of 2008, there was a guy who base jumped off of it, and he was dubbed the Human Fly.
So
I don't know if this is still a reference to anything, but there's your answer.
Well, 2008's way after this episode.
There's your answer, Fishbulb.
Well, no, that's not an answer. I want to know about a human fly pre this episode.
I'm sure there was. Anyways, continue.
All right. So guest star George Harrison was the member of the Beatles, and his line, "It's been done," as he's driving by, rolls down the window, is like, "It's been done," was likely a reference to this concert. His snub of the B-Sharps reunion also perhaps hints his years' lifelong disdain for his ex-bandmates to reunite under the Beatles' name.
Yes.
And so now we get some kid just, kind of like in the, 50s, 60s during the era of, quartets. It's like, paper here, get your paper. It's like, I'll take one. And so the guy takes, it's like, oh, this isn't about the B sharps. And we actually paused and looked at it. It says Storm Hits Midwest on it is the actual title.
Snowstorm Hits Midwest.
So, Springfield is now in Illinois.
Well, Utah gets snow.
No, it says Midwest. Since when is Utah in the Midwest?
Or maybe it was a fake paper.
Just totally?
Yes.
I don't know. Springfield is now in the Midwest.
Okay.
They moved. They moved from the ocean to the Midwest. And so now we get credits. And underneath the credits, Homer asks if they all pass the audition. Audition for what?
Well, once you read the reference, because this is also a reference to the Beatles.
Of course it is.
And Barney's like, I don't get it.
Yeah, Barney doesn't get it. It's like, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the group, and I hope we pass this audition, were the exact words John Lennon said during the version of Get Back, which was recorded not for the version of this song, which was released as a single, but instead as a song which was included on the group's album Let It Be. So,
wow, this is Beatles Mania.
Yeah.
Beatles Mania.
I'm probably not going to watch it, but if you guys want to go watch the Disney Plus thing, according to what I've heard, it's...
Well, I know our parents want to watch it.
No,
but they don't have Disney Plus.
Yeah, they watched it here.
Oh, did they?
Disney Plus.
Yeah. So I really enjoy this episode. I think it is fantastic. I like some Beatles stuff. I haven't really listened to a whole lot of it, but I love all the Beatles references. They're perfectly placed. They're fantastic.
Yeah, I like Thunderstruck. Oh, that's not one of the Beatles songs?
God, I hate you. But it's so good.
Oh, right. I like It's Raining Men. Oh, wait, that's not the Beatles either?
God, you're terrible at this game. But
wait, I'll get one.
Okay.
I'll get one.
Well, you think about it. I'm going to give my final thoughts. The jokes are great. The flashback, it's a flashback episode. Those are always cool. As I've said in the past, any episode with a song that ends up on an album, I usually end up liking those episodes a lot. It's fantastic. It's a great season 1 opener, which, by the way, was not supposed to be season 5 episode 1 season premiere. This episode and Cape Fear were supposed to book or finish off season 4.
Oh,
so
another one of these ones.
Yes, another one of these ones. But I think it's a fantastic open to season 5. It's just everything's coming out Millhouse, man.
I don't know. 5. Can't touch this.
Well, I mean, you're in the right era now for this flashback. It's good. It's great. I really love this episode.
Yeah. Ooh, Achy Breaky Heart.
Okay, why don't you give me your final thoughts?
All right, and final thoughts. I don't know.
Oh, Piano Man.
Oh, Piano Man. There we go. Man, we just really don't know any Beatles songs. Yellow Brick Road. No, I don't think so.
Anyways, your final thoughts.
Yes, final thoughts. So, that's not one of my favorites. It's funny, it's good. The flashback, as disjointed as it was, now that I've watched it and gone through all the references, I'm like, man, it's just so disjointed. But then again, drunk Homer,
Yeah.
But if it's true, obviously I'd say it's true, because you wouldn't find an album with your face on it if it's not true.
Yes.
So it's definitely something that happened. Obviously, at the end of the episode, they all got together and did their thing on the top of Moe's. So definitely true. Storytelling a little bit wobbly. Not one of my favorites, but it's had some good laughs. I'll tell you that. I had some good laughs. So I'm going to do 4 sprinkles as my...
this episode comes on, you bet your ass I'm watching it.
Yeah, I don't know. As an opener, I think they did a good job opening the season, but as an overall episode, not my favorite.
Who are we profiling this week?
So we're going to profile the Beatles manager. Wait, no. The Beatles Sharps manager.
The B Sharps.
The B Sharps manager.
The B Sharps.
The B Sharps. His name is Nigel. His occupation, star discoverer, fortune maker, and hat blocker. Once again, no clue. His modus operandi,
which, by the way, is a particular way or method of doing something, especially one that is characteristic or well established.
Sure.
Well, that's the meaning of modus operandi for anybody who might not understand what those words mean.
Oh, I thought you were looking up hat blocker.
I could look that up too.
I don't think anyone asked what modus operandi stood for.
I did.
Okay. So his modus operandi is lurking around small town bars, scouting flash in the pan talent.
So hat blocking is a process, also known as hat form or bashing block, is a wooden block carved into the shape of a hat by a craftsman known as a block shaper. It is used by hat makers or milliners, as well as costume makers or hobbyists, to produce a hat. Today, there are only a handful of block shapers left.
So what does that have to do with anything?
That's what his occupation was.
He was a hat blocker?
I guess.
Wow. That's a change in work.
Yeah.
All right. His country of origin, Great Britain. Description, long black hair pulled back into a ponytail. Blue shirt, red shirt, white tie. Sure. Blue suit, red shirt, white tie, matching red and white hanky, unoriginal PR coups, press conferences at Kennedy Airport. I don't know if I'd have him as my agent.
I mean, he got him famous for a hot minute there.
Yeah, then he kind of just fell off the face of the earth. Like, you just don't see him much anymore.
No.
It's kind of like when Homer was Lurleen's agent. See how that turned out.
Yeah, we did.
Maybe that's where Homer got his chops, though, for finding musical talent.
Maybe, I don't know.
Was when he was in the B Sharps.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, maybe. It's a great possibility that is what happened. So, once again, guys, welcome back to Season 5. It's going to be an amazing season. We got lots of guests coming. Some coming up relatively soon in Season 5.
Yeah.
Some people from a same podcast, different people.
Yeah.
So that'll be kind of cool. We're going to look at hopefully getting Simpsons Man again. Maybe Warren Bart of Darkness. See who we can pull. Maybe we can get some Simpsons folks. I know Wes Anderson still wants to come on, and Josh Weinstein wants to still come on, so we're going to see if we can pull them in here. So until those episodes, come check us out on our social media. You can find us at on Instagram, The Simpsons Did It Pod, on Facebook, The Simpsons Did It Podcast. Make sure if you do want to tag us at The Simpsons Did It Pod, big name. So make sure you tag us on there. Twitter, Simpsons Did It PC. You can find our edited podcasts on YouTube. If you guys, that's where you want to listen to them.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Make sure you head over to Apple Podcasts. Give us rate, review, subscribe. We're getting a lot of subscribers on Spotify, which is kind of cool. I always like seeing new subscribers on Spotify, where I think that's kind of the most I've really seen, the biggest jump is Spotify is kind of the big one. Make sure you give us a phone call.
Oh, yes.
So our phone number is 612-584-0986. Call, listen to our special guest that left a crusty-ish voicemail. It's
very crusty-ish.
It's very crusty-ish. It's awesome. But make sure, you actually leave us a voicemail and let us know how we are doing. Let us know things you want to hear, things you want to see. And we'll put that into our podcast. Finally, if you'd like to donate to our podcast, head over to buymeacoffee.com/The Simpsons Did It and donate 5, 10, 15, 20. We got stickers. We're still trying to figure out what we want to do for other merch, but we're going to put our heads together. I swear to God, we're putting our heads together. And we're going to come up with something amazing, whether it's koozies, pens, sponges with our business card on it, some cool things. We got to come up with some cool things. So before we close it out, just like at the end of every year, so obviously this is airing in 2022.
Yes.
But just like every year at the end, Spotify puts out our wrap for the year.
Oh, nice.
And so I wanted to kind of let you guys know where we were for 2001 and how you guys helped us.
2001?
2021.
Wow, we've been doing this for 20 years?
Yeah, you never know. So on January 3rd is when we released the first episode of 2021.
Nice.
And it was episode 30, Old Money.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. Number 2, our show made some new friends in new places, and we got our first streams in 3 new countries.
That's awesome.
In 2021.
Nice. Thanks, guys.
Those places are Singapore, Uruguay, and Argentina.
So if somebody from a different country streams us, can they stream it in their language?
I don't think so, unless you're talking in that language or someone converts it. So
Okay.
that's kind of cool. 3 new countries in
awesome.
2021.
Thanks, guys.
And so for the growth, we increased our followers by 135%
Nice.
for year number 2, or
hopefully-
1.5.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Number of listeners is up 54%. Number of streams is up 51%. And our number of hours of recording content is up 50%.
Yeah.
Because we're our second year. So,
Yeah.
so that's really awesome.
Yeah, thanks to everybody who listens and streams, and I hope you guys continue on into this new year. And
Yep. And then so next, 14 fans of our fans. So we click a fan. 14 of our fans listen to us more than any other podcast they did throughout the entire year.
that's awesome. Thank to those 14 people. You are amazing. I hope you keep listening.
So
You're awesome.
I do like that. I want that number to go up next year because that's really awesome. And 2 of our fans listen to most of our episodes.
Wow. Nice. Thanks, guys.
So let's keep listening. Let's build that number up. We want to make sure all of our fans are listening to all of it. So I like this one. This one's kind of funny. 40% of our fans listen to us between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m., making it the most popular time.
Wow.
Which is really cool because people could listen to it to fall asleep. They can listen to it when they wake up. But you guys are listening to us.
Well, I don't know if you want to listen to this to fall asleep because I'm pretty sure my voice ain't going to let you sleep.
So it's awesome that you guys want to listen to us during the middle of the day.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's something, obviously, you're doing it at work, driving in your car, whatever it is. Listening to us in the middle of the day is really awesome. Yeah. Obviously, a lot of that has to do with us releasing our episode at 8 a.m., but that's awesome. I like that, you're making us a priority during your day.
Yeah.
We've released 2,016 minutes of content across 27 episodes in 2021.
Oh, okay. We did 27 episodes.
27 episodes.
But there's only 26 weeks.
Well, there's 52 weeks. That math doesn't add up. Wow, Spotify. Spotify got something wrong.
Yeah.
I just realized that.
Yeah, we definitely drop one every Sunday. I don't know why I thought 26 weeks. I had paychecks on my brain, apparently.
Apparently,
I get paid every 2 weeks, so yeah, we definitely did not drop 27 episodes. We definitely dropped 52, unless you were slacking every other week.
No, I definitely did that. So stay tuned next year when we'll give us our stats for 2022. Yes. So until next time, I'm Steven Skolansky.
And I'm your co-host, John Lennon. Oh, wait, no, I'm Robert Skolansky.
And this has been The Simpsons Did It.
Shh.